Hello, how's everyone doing? This is going to sound out there and far fetched, even by my own standards. But just real quickly, um, doing an analysis and meditating on Lady Gaga's Born This Way video, it really hit me hard. Like, I can't get over this video. It has a lot of similarities to Katy Perry's Alien video. If you've ever seen that one, it's also as old as that video, around the same time frame. We're talking about some kind of alien intervention in human evolution, obviously. And there are similar themes in many pop music videos. This is by no means exclusive only to her. So um, you can't help but wonder what's going on with the insectoids. And I had a flashback. I remembered in Madonna's 2019 Eurovision show, I made a video a long time ago. This was about a year ago. Towards the end of the video, there's a very clear and obvious insectoid, spider-like, massive entity in the screen projection behind the stage. It comes up, and you can clearly see what looks like an insect face with insectoid arms and legs. So my point is maybe a little bit too much credit is given to reptilians. I think the more ancient, older races, um, we got to think of probably insectoid races. They were probably the original race that intervened with the process of evolution on Earth. Or maybe not. I'm just speculating here. I'm just basing this on her video, Lady Gaga, because she has basically what is like a hive of maggots. And she's associating this hive of maggots with creation in outer space. So, and then there's the duality element. So there was a good God and an evil God, and she's also implying that they are female goddesses. So are we talking about goddesses like Lilith, for example, here? So I just can't help but wonder. This is not necessarily my own beliefs, just so you know. I'm just trying to figure this video out. So just the title alone, Born This Way, is implying duality. So what the video is implying in general is that there's two opposing forces mingling with each other that do not belong together, the yin and yang, so to speak. And this is what Jonathan Kleck, the famous YouTuber, talks about. And one of his things that I do believe is correct is his notion that you have a right side up you and an upside down you, and there is a Bluetooth line, so to speak, to the pit, which kind of electronically or spiritually synchronizes with your energetic being and manipulates and controls you from below, which I do think is absolutely correct. If you don't, a lot of people really do seem like they're not living by their own free will, that they are, and I'm not even going into the NPC stuff here. I'm just saying that they, how much control of your mind do you really have? And where do your thoughts come from? I've had throughout my life such strange things come into my mind, and I've often wondered where they came from. Do you? Well, if you didn't, you absolutely should, because this can't just be explained away with nature versus nurture, your environment, society, psychology, the standardized textbook nonsense, because there's spiritual things going on here. Having said that, what I kind of maybe have this idea that we're codependent. So let's just say there is an alien race that has been here for eons below ground that was created by these, or not created, but at least thrust into motion the evolutionary process. These two dualistic gods that created this alien race, or they came here from another universe, for example, and they live below ground, but they need and require our energy above ground in order to, over eons of time, gestate and create a new race that comes to the surface over eons of time, harvests the remaining energy in a reset cycle, destroys it, goes back into the hive in the inner earth, and sort of starts this energetic electrical process, plasma process all over again, where you have these sort of prolonged gestation periods, however long they are. I mean, this is crazy shit, but this is what I saw in Lady Gaga's video. That is what she's showing. She's showing an insectoid race birthing the human race, basically. Watch the video yourself. That's how I interpret the video. And interesting point about iPad Go 2 in this is that you have this antichrist phoenix rising from the ashes birthing figure at play. And let me think of this for a second. You have this figure that arrives, what I a long time ago I said that he arrived from the star Sirius, and then I discounted that and thought it was silly, but not anymore. I think this figure is an element or projection or a life form from the energy of the star Sirius, also a sort of demigod figure that comes down whenever this gestation process is complete. And as it shows in iPad Go 2, he arrives on the earth like lightning from heaven, like a comet. He falls upon the earth and goes into the inner earth. Remember how he's in the cave? And his plasmatic conductive energy is what actually sparks the life of those beings below ground and sort of enables them and thrusts them forward, enables the pit to open. So there is a microcosmic element in this, in locusts, the insect locusts themselves. Locusts are below ground in the sort of like hibernation period for long periods of time. And oddly enough, they're actually coming to the surface pretty soon in the eastern US. So we have the similar situation here where there's an energetic harvesting, and then you have this figure arrive. He gives it a plasmatic burst of energy, and they come to the surface, harvest the energy, which is like their food, I suppose. Demons, aliens, blah, reptilians, insects, doesn't matter who the hell they really are. Not at all. They return and they start this process again. That's why the evolution of the human race on Earth never goes to the new Earth. It's always suppressed consciousness. It is always an element of degradation. A civilization is born. They go through a process of expansion and intellect and philosophy and spiritual growth, like Athens or like Rome, and then they start their degradation process. And so why? I guarantee you that there are other planets in the galaxy, in the universe, where this degradation process is not necessarily the same. You have a civilization that is born, and what if perhaps it doesn't collapse on itself? What if it keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps evolving and goes and goes and goes? That's something to think about. Could this be part of that energy harvesting? Is what I'm saying. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Again, I'm hoping to do an episode on the Denver airport and the iPad Go 2 tomorrow. Again, I don't know. So, again, as usual, think outside the box. Think way outside the box because that's the only way to think. And sorry for the fear based content, but it's a scary world.